Hey, welcome back. Hope everybody is having a great Friday, and thank you so much for joining me talking all things Masters of the Universe. Today, guys, we're going to be doing a full unboxing and review of the cartoon collection slash filmation style version of TRI-KLOPS, the evil and sees everything figure. We'll compare this version of TRI-KLOPS to, as you can see, his standard version from Origins. We'll also look at his classic version, thanks to Pixel Dan and Dark Horse Comics, and go from there and have a lot of fun. Now, of course, if you are new to my channel or first time watching, I hope you will subscribe afterwards. I hope you'll hit that like button, and thank you for doing that. Hit that notification bell when you know I upload new videos, and please share this video who has a passion and a love for collecting all things Masters of the Universe. Without further ado, let's take a look and unbox TRI-KLOPS. Alright, of course, my favorite figure of all time. Of course. Alright, so here he is in the packaging. Right here. Of course, you have the now updated She-Ra type Princess Power packaging for the Filmation style. Of course, you have Hordak right there. All right, you have the He-Man and the Master Universe logo here. You got the 40th anniversary She-Ra sticker. All right, this is her time to shine now. Her 40th anniversary is now. Of course, you have TRI-KLOPS, evil and sees everything. Of course, you got Grayskull under attack from the evil horde. And there's old TRI-KLOPS. Looks, I mean, for the first time ever, for me, having a filmation version of TRI-KLOPS is incredible. There he is in the packaging. Looks amazing. Of course, you get the Cartoon Collection logo. Or Filmation logo, if you wish. Alright, you got the rock softener weapon right there. And we will also look at the comic as well. But there he is. Alright, get that around. Some beautiful artwork right there of him taking on He-Man. And I think he's part of that same episode that Ram-Man was a part of. You got the royal cousin. There he is. Using the rock softener to, I guess, take down He-Man for a minute. Alright, there he is. Gorgeous right there. Of course, the cross-out. And we have unboxed every figure in this particular wave. Alright. You give me a second, guys. I'll get this unboxed, and we'll go from there. So hang on. Alright, everybody. Also, if you notice, I did bring out my new Eternia variant of TRI-KLOPS right here in the review here. One of the best versions of TRI-KLOPS, from Masterverse. Alright, of course, I like to show this diagram. Of course, I like to show them, just to show you the parts that can be removed safely from the figure without damaging it right here. Very cool. Alright. Alright. Of course, here's the comic that we have seen before with Hordak and Manny Faces called Slime Lord, which is heavily in part of the slime pit. So, like I've said before, I'll say it again, I feel like this is a major Easter egg at some point, I don't know when, that I feel like we're going to get the slime pit or the ooze pit or both, because that, even the ooze pit, or the slime pit has been shown very heavily in the comics of the Turtles of Grayskull line, with more of the Shredder head instead of that skull head right here. So, I mean, at some point, I feel like Mattel, at some point will give us, the ooze pit or the slime pit or the slime pit with the fright zone. So I'm just, waiting for that amazing, because I never owned the slime pit as a kid, back in the day. So to get a full-on functional slime pit play set with the, with the fright zone is a must, for everybody, getting an updated version of that incredible play set, with that slime horde He-Man version as maybe an exclusive figure, is a must for us collectors. A more updated version, but of course, beautiful artwork right there. All right, amazing, absolutely amazing. All right, there we go. All right, of course, here he is. Here's old TRI-KLOPS right there. Looks really good. I'm gonna put him right next to his normal variant. All right, stand here. You know what? Let me get him closer, a little bit closer here. All right. So there he is. Now, what the funny thing about, TRI-KLOPS is that, with a lot of these figures, and him being my favorite figure of all time, is that what you see on TV, of course, is not what you get in actual toy form, because even though it's, almost similar in features and looks of, his cartoon collection or filmation version of TRI-KLOPS, what we got in stores back in the 80s, what's the original origins variants of TRI-KLOPS, is so much different. But you don't really, like, at least for me, I never, didn't take that into account, because these figures are so amazing that the Mattel puts their own flavor, their own spin on these figures. And TRI-KLOPS, it's like that. It's no exception. I mean, with this version of TRI-KLOPS, it's a very plain Jane, variant of the figure here. You can see there's more detail. Let me put them next to each other. You can see that in the armor, that you see that you got the more gold right here. It gives more flair, than this one here. But it doesn't matter because it's so cool. Even the eye, the visor here is so much different. But we don't think about that. At least I wasn't thinking about that when I saw this version in the shelves, like, as a kid in the 80s, and from in this version right here. I mean, because they had the functionality. It was TRI-KLOPS, even though they looked so much different from each other. Like I said, what we saw on TV was so much different what we got in stores and retail. Now, another thing I noticed too, of course, the visor is much smaller, from the filmation to his actual retail counterpart. Also, like, something I never didn't put into effect with the visor is that there's a strap that goes around the bottom of the chin here. So this is pretty much like a mask in a way. This version does not have that. So this version of TRI-KLOPS, the visor, which can be moved, it does move, all right, it does have that feature. It does have that action call out right there. You can turn the visor right there. Okay. But this, visor here, in a way, can be removed from the figure. So underneath this visor here is a man that has two normal eyes, and of course, the visor just enhances his vision, So basically, to me, TRI-KLOPS is like the evil variant somewhat of Mechanic, using his ability, his sight, to, use it to spy on, on He-Man and his friends in a way. You can use, every visor, which could be this version or this version, to maybe see through, like rock, like an X-ray vision. He has one that has a ray that shoots like a laser out, stuff like that. And so, but with this version of TRI-KLOPS, you never think about that. You think this is actually part of him, as an experiment, that maybe he was born blind, and he had to use to maybe Skeletor and his dark magic and Evil Lyn. And so, you can come up with some crazy ideas, and so they had to use some sort of technology to enhance his ability. Maybe he was an Eternian that maybe was betrayed, he thought, maybe by He-Man, but he couldn't, he was, burned really bad, and He-Man could save him, and he blamed He-Man. You could come up with, like I said, any kind of, fun, creative ways for your figures here, and TRI-KLOPS. So many different. I mean, you have, like, let me turn on the turntable here. Even from the style, from the not just the green of the armor here to the head sculpts, but you have the brown hair from the what's the filmation, and you have the black hair from the 80s variant Mattel version. The trunks also are different. You have the black trunks for this version, and of course the more standard filmation trunks right there, to even the boots. And like I said, it's so crazy. It's so crazy and so cool at the same time that, like you said, what we see on TV is sometimes what we don't get actually in toy form. And that could be for any figure, from even He-Man in some ways, has a very different approach. Look at Prince Adam. The vintage Prince Adam was so much different than what we got. And that print, if you put the Origins version of Prince Adam to his cartoon collection variant with part of that Cringer, you can see the styles and looks are so much different from each other. But we didn't care, I didn't care, because how cool this line was, and the fact that we're getting these figures in toy form from the cartoon, because the cartoon is so popular and we love that cartoon from Filmation. I mean, just having these figures are so amazing, you know. So let me turn the turntable on. Of course, I do have his Masters variant behind him. Now, before I turn the turntable on, I want to show you his classic version right here. So this is the only figure that I can find, thanks to Pixel Dan and Dark Horse Comics, that, you know, is more of the Filmation version of TRI-KLOPS here. All right, so here he is. Of course, he came out in 2018. There he is. You can see the same type of style that we just got right here from the Origins variant here. Same look. Now, of course, I included the Masterverse New Eternia version because of the sword here. Because that version of TRI-KLOPS has a similar sword that was included with him. And also, he comes with a gun, with a pistol, too. But there he is. All right, very cool. Same exact style right there. And also, I'm not sure what's going on with this, but I guess maybe, apparently maybe some of the head sculpts of the Classics line did not work, you know, effectively. And so they had to do a re-release of the head sculpts for those who maybe their visor malfunction or broke, maybe. All right. So I'm kind of curious about that. Now, as far as the eyes are concerned, as you know, as we know, this version of TRI-KLOPS, you know, every time the visor changed, the eye also changed to a more aggressive, more angry. You know, you had the blue eye, the more standard, you know, normal variant, to he gets a little bit upset right here, you know, when, you know, He-Man's coming in. And of course, when he's on full-on, like, attack mode, you know, you have this version, which I do like. I like the different colored eyes, you know, from each version of TRI-KLOPS, or from the normal Origin variant right here. Or this one here, it's not the eye is different, it's more of the shape of the visor that the eye is part of. So you have the circle here, and when you turn it, you got a more like a square here, but it's the same exact eye, okay? And then when you turn it again, it's got a more triangle right here. So it's not the eye itself, not the color of the eye that's changing, it's the shape of the visor. And, you know, and so you got like, it's probably still the same, you know, more like a normal, you know, to a more like concerned eye, and to more of a like attack eye, basically. But very cool, very cool. I love it. It's perfect. It's you know, and it's also kind of weird not having a. Let me turn the turntable on here. Oh, I think my turntable died here, but it's okay. But well, I'll take a look at my turntable. I might have to. I'm gonna hang on. Right. Oops. Maybe. Did not mean to do that. Sorry, everybody. All right. Well, that's okay. Get it away. All right. That's okay. But let's go ahead and take a look at the back here. Oops, the camera got it moved here. All right. All right. But, you know, a very plain, very simple version, you know, of TRI-KLOPS here, but it works because, you know, it comes straight out of the Filmation, and it's perfect. You know, if I had to, you know, choose between the both right here, being a major fan of the Filmation cartoon, you know, I do prefer this look over this one, because don't get me wrong, this is a classic look here of TRI-KLOPS, you know, an amazing version of TRI-KLOPS. But, you know, this, if we did not have this version of TRI-KLOPS from the Filmation cartoon, you know, who knows? I mean, if we would have gotten this version. So even though this is an iconic variant of TRI-KLOPS, you know, this one here is my favorite here. Well, also, like I was going to show you, but hang on, everybody. All right, I think I fixed my turntable, everybody. I'm turning it on. There we go. There we go. So, like I said, it's one thing I will say about the Filmation version of TRI-KLOPS, you know, is that the vintage, you know, 80s variant to the normal Origins variant came with a sword, you know, in which, you know, is something that, you know, is we're not seeing in the Filmation cartoon variant. But with Origins, you know, if you have an extra sword, because this style of sword is it's been around. It's been a part of a lot of characters of Origins. Look at Reptilix. He's got a very similar sword and variant. So if you want to include a sword with this version of TRI-KLOPS, you can do that. Now with this version, I'd like to run down the articulation. It's similar. You can pop the head off, pop the arms off. It's fully articulated. It's a little bit taller. His cartoon collection variant is, you can see the difference in height right here between the two characters, or the two figure. You can see that this one is about an inch taller right there. Of course, the cartoon collection figures have more detail of muscles in the legs than their Origins variant. Very little detail, as you see with the bracelets and the boots and stuff like that. It's more standard. Okay, there's no detail. Okay, but still, like even the belt itself, it's just a plain belt. Where his Origins variant is vintage Origins variant. Let me say that has more has the detail on the belt right there. You get the more aggressive look of TRI-KLOPS with the teeth out, like angry. Where this one is very standard. But very cool, and I'm happy to have him finally in my collection. As from part of Filmation now. I'm kind of curious if they're going to do him in the Turtles of Grayskull line. If that line's, I don't know how long the line's going to continue on with this year, but of course, if they do make a new, Turtles of Grayskull, Thundercats variant, of course, I am absolutely down for that. Of course, I'm going to get his Masterverse look right here. There, like that. But let me know in the comments below your thoughts and feelings of TRI-KLOPS here. What do you prefer? Do you prefer his, his standard Origins variant? That's more based on the retail 80s line, or do you like the new, or vintage Filmation version of TRI-KLOPS? All right. But very cool, guys. All right, guys. I'd like to take time now to thank my subscribers. Thank you so much for joining me today, guys. This has been a lot of fun. Of course, don't forget to hit the notification bell when you upload new videos. And of course, it's been a while, but I'm going to give you a little update about my Voltron that I've started a new mini collection for the channel here. It's on standby right now because I'm missing 2 lions to complete Voltron, and it is a Target exclusive. And it's pretty popular. This particular version of Voltron that reminds me so much as the one I had as a kid in the 80s. The lions are very scarce, and so I don't know when they're going to get a replenish of these particular lions. I need the yellow lion and the green lion to complete Voltron, because to me Voltron is my version of the Power Rangers. As a kid watching that, the lions. I was never a big fan of the cars of Voltron. And I'm going to show you a little sneak peek of Voltron, what I have done so far. Real fast, guys. So, there's my Voltron right there. That's what I have complete right there. Alright. So, of course, once I do get the yellow line and the green line, of course, I will show you guys. And, of course, once I get them all assembled, then I'll do a little review of Voltron for fun, because I love Voltron. Like He-Man, like Thundercats, that's one of the shows I love, and I watched every episode as a kid, growing up, and I had a blast with that. G.I. Joe, Transformers, a time when the cartoons were amazing, as a kid, Saturday morning 80s cartoons to the 90s and stuff like that. And I cannot wait to hopefully, fully, assemble Voltron, and review with you guys. And I do hope you guys will join me for that, for this little review. Now, as far as tomorrow for Saturday, I'll go back to looking at figures that from Masterverse that it's been a minute that we've seen on the channel. Figures like, Clam Champ, or, Andrea, or, we looked at Fisto the other day. and and other figures like Slushhead, So, and I do hope you join me for that. So I think tomorrow we'll look at a revisit of Clam Champ from the Masters line. Take a look at the figure in the packaging and out of the packaging as well. All right, and go from there. And let's have some fun. Have some fun reviewing these figures as we wait for new figures to show up in the line. Hopefully by next week, I'll have maybe in my hand the Super 7 Origins variants of the Thundercats figures, which is like they comes out with right now. There's Lion-O, Mumra, and Jackalman. This is the 5.5 scale Super 7 figures that are coming out soon. So hopefully I'll have that as well, and of course have some fun. All right. So I hope everybody has a great Friday, and I'll see you guys on Saturday. Take care, and have a good one, everybody.